It's Talk Tonight, the podcast of delights, and don't you know it? Talk Tonight, it's Talk Tonight.
Good evening and welcome to the Talk Tonight podcast. Today we're joined with viral sensations DECO to talk about their meteoric rise to stardom with their covers 80s style of Wonderwall. I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor of Angels by Robbie Williams. Honestly, this band, they're going places. So Harry was joined by them to talk about everything music. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Just a quick one. We've got a few new hosts coming in. We've got Jay and Emily, so I'm sure you're going to make them feel welcome. Links in the description to go follow them on Twitter and Instagram. Again, we've got loads of great stuff coming up, so if you do want to be involved with the podcast, drop us an email, queries@talktonight.co.uk, and I hope you enjoy the show. Cheers.
Hello and welcome to the Talk Tonight podcast. Today I'm joined by DECO, who are from London. So tell our listeners about what you do and who you are. This is so funny, this first bit, because like if it's like a band, everyone's like, who's going to speak first?
Yeah, okay, I'll go. So we are a band that are originally from the Midlands, Derbyshire way, and we all moved down to London in the last sort of 3 or 4 years, and so that's where we're based now. We kind of make 80s inspired pop, I guess, is our thing. And yeah, we've the reason why we're speaking to you is because we recently put up a mashup. Randomly, totally unplanned, really, and yeah, it went viral, and yeah, that's seemingly what we're known for now, which is weird. But
very nicely transition into the question, like, how was that, and has it like changed your motivation at all with writing music and stuff now that you say you're a bit bigger? It's like the fame been a bit weird, so to speak?
Doesn't really feel, honestly, it's hard for us, or me especially, to even gauge. I can't really tell if it's because no one can go out and you know, we can't play gigs at the minute or anything like that. It's hard to gauge whether it's made a difference. Do you know what I mean? We don't know. It's hard for us to gauge how big it's gone, because it's just numbers on a phone, you know, like 1.2 million people have seen it, or well, more than that, but yeah.
How many was it?
It's really difficult. I think all together across all the platforms, it's like 3 million or something, maybe 2 and a bit.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, honestly, that's just it doesn't really feel like much has changed, but I feel like it's one thing I would say it's motivated us more to kind of make sure we're pushing our own stuff, because you know it suddenly hit home that people were wanting us to do more mashups, and we're like, well, hang on a minute, this is only a lockdown thing, you know. It's like it's a bit of fun. So yeah, I guess we really want to make sure that we don't lose that kind of because we had a fairly decent following before for our own stuff, like on the live circuit. So we want to make sure we kind of retain that kind of, if we were ever had any credibility, we wanted to kind of make sure we maintain that and not just become like a cover band. But also we want to still have fun and do the mashups because they are fun.
I see, but to be fair, like it's quite different thing really to do, isn't it? Especially with like a song like Wonderwall, for example, like in that kind of style was a bit like kind of like not odd, but odd in the same way, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, and it is really weird how it's like struck a chord. None of us can put a finger on it. We keep trying to
one of the main comments was on the Wonderwall one that people didn't actually like Wonderwall that much, as in the Oasis version, but hearing it in like mashed up with an 80s tune, it made them like the song, which is kind of weird.
Do you reckon it made people actually go and listen to the Oasis version?
Yeah. It did. I think it moved up 300 chart positions. Wonderwall did that week.
Jesus
did it?
Yeah,
that's mad.
And so did Brunsky Beat. Yeah, I don't know. I probably didn't say. I don't know why I didn't say that.
You should tell me.
Yeah, I know. Well, Oasis should thank us.
Yeah, exactly. So you have your most recent single was Breaks On, but you did the Christmas song. So you is writing a Christmas tune any different from writing, say, a normal DECO tune?
It is a little bit, because it was sort of like you can kind of get away with having a bit more of a laugh with it, because Christmas songs aren't not a serious Christmas song at all. So it's like you can actually mess around, and we almost like purposefully throw in those Christmas cliche things. And yeah, it was a bit more like, I mean, we threw that together in one night. It was just like a really quick bang.
Amazing. Like, who would you say is your influences as like a band?
Lots of different influences, but I feel like collective influences we have are like we really love 80s bands. So like me and John like Tears for Fears and Duran Duran, and you like Talking Heads, don't you, John?
Yeah,
it's a real kind of, I don't want to say mashup, mix up of stuff. It's a real mix up of stuff, but yeah, we're all kind of into the same modern bands. You know, we love Bombay Bicycle Club and bands like that.
Glass Animals and Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah. Did you like? What did you think of Tranquility? I know it's been out a couple of years, but it's very split fans, doesn't it? Some people really like it, which I'm in that camp, but some people
I liked it. Yeah.
Nah, it's awful.
Yeah. I remember when John sent me a leaked link. He's like expert of leaked and illegal software, is John.
Yeah, I leak our own song.
Yeah. And when the first time I listened to it, I thought, it's just Alex Turner ranting for about an hour. But the more I've listened to it, it's interesting. You know, like they must get bored of doing the same thing. I think the best bands change. So
I saw him at Transmit in Glasgow, and that album had just come out, and they played they only played like 4 or 5 songs off it, but live it was really made me enjoy the album a lot more, actually. But I think it's good. It's just not obviously following the one they did before that, which
a
had
commercial record,
loads of bangers on
it. I think it's hard when you've been a band for like that long. Like you turn a certain age, you can't write about what, say, their first album was about. You know what I mean? So it would just be weird that being the age they are writing about a night out.
I mean, I feel like it's maybe silly to compare it, but so how long was that? That was like 2018, and it was 12 years after their first album.
Yeah.
And when like this band formed, we were like indie kind of 2-door cinema clubby, and now we're nothing like that, and it's only been sort of 4 or 5 years. So it's if we've changed that much in that amount of time, then imagine what a professional band that you know. Obviously we're doing it more professionally now, but at the time we weren't. So yeah, I think bands do change, and I think it's sometimes difficult for an audience to accept it, but ultimately the artist has got to do what they want to do and enjoy it, otherwise there's no point, really.
Because I feel like you get like a better around musical experience if you give the band are putting music that they want to do out rather than what fans want.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean. So would you say,
definitely.
Would you say you're like stuck to one genre as a band, or would you be like, let's change it up a bit here and change it around? And
no, we've definitely always change, I think.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff we were doing in lockdown was edging towards more kind of 80s R&B kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? That I don't know, more kind of funky compared to the stuff that's already out. So yeah, I think when we always have like a consistent style maybe, but the song, we don't like limit ourselves to it. I think it's probably just naturally what comes out.
I'd like to get to the point where you've put out an album and then you can just make something completely different the second album. you can almost like just purposefully think outside the box of what you've been doing and write something else. I think we already started doing that. It's just you got to keep some kind of sound. As like an unsigned band, you need to actually have your own brand as well. So you can't just make songs that don't sound right together. So there is a bit of like a theme.
Yeah, I think something that helps us is even if we do change the style very slightly, my voice doesn't change that an awful lot, really. So it's kind of a similar theme. Like it's quite in our songs. I guess my voice is a dominant thing in a lot of the stuff. You know, overpowering. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Overbearing.
Oh, I've lost you. I lost you for a sec there, John.
He's still there.
It was just a not very good joke, so carry on.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I was trying to insult myself there, really.
Yeah, I was just jumping on that, to be honest.
So obviously you've done a few more like covers and that since the Wonderwall one went a bit mental. Like, were they any different to do in terms of like the putting them together, so to speak, or is it?
Yeah, they
kind of.
Yeah, like, you explain this one, John. I'll let you go.
Well, what did we do? We did Spice Girls with Marvin Gaye, and then we did. What was the other one?
Angels and Simple Minds. We did
Angels
that first.
That was good. That was
basically after the Wonderwall one kicked off. We just met up. We had like a Zoom call and said, let's come up with a list of songs and just bang out some more mashups. So like we already had like those ones in the bag. We just kind of just threw them together quickly. But we're working on one soon, aren't we? Another one.
Yeah.
not gonna drop what it is.
I've already
just gonna throw it out there.
Yeah. I mean, I've already done it, the premise of it. But we might change it to a different song. So it's like, it's very complicated because potential labels are involved and
Right.
So in terms of like, they might want to release a mashup, and so we don't want to release it on Twitter yet if it's good. Do you know what I mean? So it's like complicated. But yeah, we've got plenty of ideas in the bag. But I guess the main difference between Wonderwall and the second two was I basically started the Wonderwall one on a Sunday. I was just having a bit of fun, but I guess with the second and third mashup, we kind of sat down and intended to do them, which is, I guess, different process. That's the only thing I can think of, really.
So do you have, like, in terms of like future plans? I know we're still in lockdown and that, but do you have anything of like your own music coming out soon, or are you still in writing? Or
we will be in the next few. We're lucky enough to have all that time last year to write, so we're not really writing at the moment. We're just the odd bit when we fancy it. So we've got this whole bag of songs at the moment, and we're lining one up, but we just need to work out what we're doing. Probably do a few more mashups and fun things first, and then get some more music out there.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on in the background, like releasing wise. Are we going to release a mashup properly? Do you know what I mean? Which might push back our own stuff, or we might release it as like a double thing, like a A side or double A side probably. So yeah, there's lots of exciting things going on, but no concrete.
Sounds pretty wild. Like it's gonna be crazy a couple of months for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's a shame, really, that like we're still in the pandemic and all that, which means like you can't obviously go out and tour, etc. Which is obviously like one of the main things of being a band, isn't it? Is playing live and that. So like, what's been the best gig you've ever played so far?
I think probably we did a tour at the end of 2019. We went everywhere. We went up to Manchester, Scotland, Sheffield, Newcastle, Nottingham, and then we finished in London. And I think by the time we did that gig in London, and it was sold out. It was Camden Assembly, and it was just like the final date on our own tour, and we managed to sell out several other venues along the way, and then do the London one at the end, and it was like that was probably like that was probably the best one for me, I think.
Yeah.
Not the biggest, but like the biggest achievement.
Selling out a London one. That's good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm tempted to agree, and also the Nottingham one. I felt like the Nottingham. So basically, we added a Nottingham date to that tour, but it ended up being in February, just before the lockdown, and that was like a really big venue, and we basically sold that out too. A place called Rescue Rooms, and yeah, I feel like that's probably the best we ever played. It was really just everything that came together for that one.
Yeah.
But in terms of the festivals, 2019, they were really good fun as well.
Yeah, the festival was really good. It's just the festivals, they're not quite. They're obviously really fun, but it's not quite satisfying as selling tickets to your own tour when it's just people coming to see you. You get me?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I saw like Chili Peppers at Reading, and then I saw them in London in December, and I know they change their set list every night anyway, but the difference between the Reading set list and the London set list was bad because they obviously just change it every night, and like the London one just seemed it was very catered for their fans, whereas like the festival one was like, as you can imagine, like all the hits, all the bangers.
Yeah.
So like probably cater for that gig.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got we've got a few tunes you probably wouldn't play at a festival.
Yeah, well, probably now. I mean, I was kind of joking saying that we had loads of hits, but
I see.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely now, yeah, because we've got there's a couple of like slow, I don't want to say slower, but more kind of chilled tracks, ballads that we probably wouldn't play at a festival.
Everyone loves a ballad though. I think if ballad would go down well at a festival, you should probably whack it in the right bang in the middle of the set.
Yeah, or just before like the crescendo, you know, like 2 songs before the end.
Exactly. It was like with touring and that, what's it like? Because obviously I'm not in a band or anything like that. I would never probably tour. Like, what's it like touring life?
Weirdly, I'd say the first proper tour we did was the last one we did, because like we did it like properly. Whereas tours before, we kind of thrown together, like sometimes to save money we'd do like National Express, like buses. But this was the first one where we like everyone came, like the whole like team, DECO team came, like manager and photographer and all that kind of stuff. We hired a van for the whole like 2 weeks, and yeah, it was really good fun. I'll let you explain other bits, John.
No, I'm basically going to say the same thing. That was the first actual like tour when you're out on the road for a couple of week tour that we've even done. But yeah, it was class. And also, the further you get into the tour, like the more into it you get. It's like, so we put our biggest date at the end of the tour because you're building up to that the whole time.
Yeah.
And then by the end, you're just like absolutely on fire.
Is there like,
it's really good fun.
Do you think there'd be much difference between like, say, the first night and the last night?
There was on that tour, yeah.
Yeah. I remember John had to say to me the morning after our first date, it was like, Max, you were a bit of a last night. Okay, let's just try and enjoy this tour.
But then it was good after that.
It was good after that.
No, it's good. Like I remember, like it was really good the days we had a bit of time off, because actually, like the setting up for a gig takes up a lot of your day. So if you're doing night after night and you don't have your own crew, then it's sort of like you got to get to the venue pretty early and set up and hang around. But I remember we had some time off in like Edinburgh.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it was amazing weather in Edinburgh as well. We just like went out, and we went to Weatherspoons, told our Instagram followers our table number, and got loads of drinks. It was good.
I imagine that's quite one of the nicest things about a tour though, is like you do see like different cities or towns every day that you probably wouldn't go to with on your own doing kind of thing.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't go have any other reason to go to Hull. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you don't really see much of them other than like, I don't know, somewhere where you nip and get food. That's the thing. So like, if you get a day off somewhere, then it's really good because you get to explore it.
Would anything like
Tesco's.
Would you like, when it comes to plan at all, do you specifically try and put a day off after like a really like after a good place? So like, say, I don't know, Nottingham or something. Edinburgh, yeah.
Try to. It depends on when you can get the venues, and
yeah, it's difficult.
It's quite is.
We didn't intend to then, did we?
No, not really.
But we definitely will now because it was a good day. So
yeah. Well.
So every time you go to like Edinburgh, right, make sure we have the day off after or before.
Basically, or before, yeah.
Obviously, when you're on tour, probably eat a lot of fast food, etc. What would be your go-to fast food restaurant, or like you said, Tesco? Which in that case, I'd probably pop the.
Tell them about the rider.
I was gonna say, yeah. One thing we did do, we were like, because we've done that before, where we've been out and you just eat like shit at rubbish at service stations and stuff, and we're like, right, let's get a healthy rider. Like, let's ask for some healthy stuff this time, so that we're not eating crap all the time. So we asked for.
It's funny, rider.
Hummus, carrots, brown bread, bananas,
peanut butter,
whole earth peanut butter, water, and a few beers. That's our rider.
To be fair, we didn't put on weight, so it worked.
Win-win.
Yeah, but normally I like a Scotch egg. That's my. Those guys take the mick out of me for that.
Just a Scotch egg.
Yeah, and like
a Scotch egg.
Historically, we'd like go to Tesco or something quickly before or after our sound check, and John would be in there for like half an hour, and he'd come out with the same thing every single time: hummus and bread, basically.
It's like when you go to like a restaurant that you're familiar with, you look at the menu, or like when you order Chinese or something, and you already know what you're gonna get, but you look for it anyway. Like
yeah, it's like KFC. You should have bonus banquet every time, don't you?
Yeah, 100%.
Every single time.
Like, you can't go wrong with the banquet.
Can't.
Do you have any like more gig spurts in like the future for like when all this is over and that?
What have we got? Got some gigs. Yeah, sorry. We've got some gigs in May. At the moment, we've already moved those once, so we're just going to see what's going on in May. Basically,
socially distanced shows in Nottingham, London, and Birmingham, 7th, 8th, and 9th of May. So yeah, I think London evening sold out. We're doing like a day show for London, which is gonna be fun. It's gonna be like a musical or something.
Is that in?
Colours.
Oh, okay.
Should we make it into a musical?
The DECO musical. Okay. You definitely be the villain.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then I mean we have got like festivals penciled in, but again it's the same thing. You know, obviously for like the same thing happened last year. Glastonbury gets cancelled and it's a bit of a snowball, but some of the smaller festivals still might go ahead. So we're hoping that's the case.
What are your thoughts of them cancelling Glastonbury like already? Like, I saw it was like very like, oh yeah, they did the right thing, but some people are like, why has they've done it so early? Like, we might be all right. We probably won't be, but
I'll let you go, John, because you know why.
What? Why they had to cancel?
Yeah,
so early.
Your thoughts on it, like why?
Oh, I just think like Glastonbury's on a different different level. I've got friends who work in at smaller festivals, or like sort of like 25, 30,000 person festivals. But I don't think Glastonbury had much choice really. But even the smaller ones, I mean, not to be negative, but I'm just starting to look at it and think,
yeah, same. Like, it's not looking good, is it?
I heard that Reading Leeds is obviously end of August, bank holiday. What I heard, they're cracking on. They're planning to go ahead.
Jesus.
Obviously, they're 2.5 months later than Glasgow, so
it's not gonna happen there, isn't it?
Yeah.
The thing is with Glastonbury, the reason they cancel it is so early is because I think they start like building the stage in like February or something daft. Like it's, or they have to start ordering and paying for things and all this kind of stuff.
But deposits have to go down on everything, so including bands. So like festivals can't just chuck all that money and then it's just we'll see. Fingers crossed.
I'd hate to have like a 2-year break with no festivals though. Like it just takes a lot out of life, doesn't it? Like it was weird having none here last year.
Yeah.
And then it looked.
Yeah, we really missed it.
It's one of those things that you take for granted, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We really did make the best out of a bad situation though. Like we wrote about 40 odd songs in the first lockdown, even though we probably only will use 10 of them or whatever, but it's I'm really kind of happy with how we kind of dealt with it really as a band. It was really productive. I mean, we all lived together for like 3 months, which was enough. It was just enough, probably, but it was still good fun. Like I look back on it fondly. It was really good.
Yeah, well, as soon as the lockdown came in, we were just like, should we just bunk together?
Yeah, because none of us had any work on, so yeah.
Well, guys, thank you for coming on today. Really appreciate you taking time out of your evening. Like, with what's
Pleasure.
going on and
wasn't doing anything anyway.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here with a blanket on. It's freezing.
Another quick question before we go.
Oh, did that remind you?
Yeah, I don't know why the blanket reminded me. You're with your blanket. What are you putting on TV? Like film? What film or TV series you watching?
I'm gonna watch Donnie Darko tonight.
I'm going to watch Laurel and Hardy, Way Out West tonight.
Oh yeah,
lovely.
Yeah. I watched. They made like a movie about Laurel and Hardy called Stan and Ollie, and I watched it not long ago, and it just really, really made me want to watch the originals because like I grew up with them. My dad, not with them physically, but my dad used to play them all the time. So
Laurel and I went way back.
Yeah. Back to 1916.
What are you watching, Harry?
I don't know. I've started watching Parks and Recs again.
Oh yeah.
Because it just went back on Netflix. So I was like, I'll go on then. I just finished the US Office after putting it off for so long because I was like, nah, it's not better than the UK. I'm not having that. And then I watched it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is actually quite good.
It is good, yeah.
So I didn't want to be like, no, I'm not letting the UK down. But no, it is very good. But yeah, appreciate you coming on today. You can find DECO on Spotify, YouTube, etc. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Have a good evening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, guys. Cheers.